Lu Feng. Yunqi, what is the origin of Mystic Pond? Is it left by someone, or has it naturally appeared? Yi Chen inquired after thinking for a while. Hearing him, Zhen Yunqi was stunned. If it was anyone else, they would be dreaming about the benefits of cultivating there rather than asking such questions. Nevertheless, she didn't hesitate to reply. No one knows about the origin of Mystic Pond. However, there is a rumor saying it was left by the royal king of the Golden River Kingdom. But no one believes this since the royal family can't control the Mystic Pond. She said and continued. This is all I know, and the Mystic Pond is quite beneficial for you both. So don't cultivate further fifth stages of qi gathering. She reminded with a serious look. In response, both Yi Chen and Li Mei nodded. After this, they said a few more words and returned to cultivate. Ha ha, our Supreme King has been reborn. Hu Tian laughed loudly in his room while his eyes flashed with a cold light. Mu Shui, you bitch dare to kill me. Just wait, I will make you beg for mercy in my bed. If not, I won't be Lu Feng. He stated coldly with a killing intent while exploring the memories of Hu Tian, who died. Just how could a coward like him exist? He died by weeping for 3 continuous days. This is even worse than getting killed by a pig. Oh, wait, this guy relied on his family's power to bully people. But suddenly someone who was more arrogant than him appeared, crushing him directly and treating him like a dog. No wonder he died. He deserves it after relying on the power that was not his. He shook his head with disapproval before forming a smirk on his face. No matter how arrogant or good talent you have, Yi Chen, you shouldn't have humiliated him like this. Now with me taking over this body, there was no way I would swallow this humiliation. Let's see what will happen if I steal your girl in front of you. Also, the Sect Master is very good beauty. I should be able to get her in my grasp, he said with confidence before sitting down and cultivating. No one was aware of Hu Tian being dead, and just like this, a few days passed silently. Senior brother, is it okay to ride this? Won't we fall? Li Mei inquired with fear as she saw an enormous eagle, which was the size of a small house. This eagle was a pet tamed by the sect and was used for transport or travel. Because the distance between courtyard and sect was long, Zhen Yunqi had prepared this eagle for them, so they could roam outside without her help. CTH your novel F. IR.net website on Google to access chapters of novels, early and in the highest quality. However, Li Mei feared this kind of transportation. Xiaomei, why panic so much? It's just a little flight to the sect. Moreover, let me hold you all the way so you won't be falling. Yi Chen suggested with a smile, and before Li Mei could respond, he pulled her into his arms, making her face flush red. However, she didn't care about this and looked at him with a pitiful expression. Senior brother, do we really have to go down the mountain? She inquired unwillingly. Watching her like this, Yi Chen chuckled and tightened his arms around her. Yes, we really had to go down, he said with a serious nod while gazing into her beautiful, anxious eyes, and before she could say something again, he jumped on the eagle's back along with her. As senior brother, Li Mei panicked when she saw this, and without hesitation, she buried her face in his chest. If Zhen Yunqi was here, she wouldn't fear flying this much because Zhen Yunqi can fly and catch them. However, this was not the case with the eagle. Moreover, they both didn't know how to fly, which meant if they fell, there was no going back. Just thinking this made her more anxious, and she shut her eyes tightly while clinging to him like super glue. However, Yi Chen didn't care about her anxiousness at all and commanded the eagle to fly up. Of course, it didn't mean he was gambling on his or her life. Zhen Yunqi had told him that flying beats like this can prevent people on their backs from falling. Moreover, the eagle was flying only a little higher than the tree and was slow in speed. With their cultivation of 4th stage qi gathering, this was nothing. If they fell at worst, they would get minor injuries, and that was it. Because of this, he didn't worry and let the junior sister in his arm hug him tightly. What a great decision of not telling her this. He praised himself as he didn't bring Li Mei when he inquired Zhen Yunqi about the flying beast. If not, she wouldn't be clinging to him and won't be this anxious. Xiaomei, open your eyes. Look, everything is fine, he said softly, caressing her hair. However, Li Mei refused to budge and shook her head. No, I won't. It's scary, she stated and further tightened her grip on him. Watching her like his, Yi Chen shook his head with a helpless look. Just open your eyes a little bit. If you don't like it, then you can close it again. he suggested while holding her waist tightly. Hearing him, Li Mei hesitated, but she decided to give it a try as she felt his arms holding her waist tightly. However, she wasn't embarrassed because she had no time to think of anything except falling. So, she slowly opened her eyes, seeing a blurry picture where the trees and mountain moved rapidly. We are flying. She thought her heart was racing like a deer. But when she felt his arms around her, she felt relieved and opened her eyes completely. What came into view was a massive green mountain range that spanned for unknown miles as they headed towards the sect, which was 10 miles away from them. Although she has seen this once, it was not too clear since Zhang Yunqi flew higher and at fat speed. So, watching the scenery, she couldn't help but become a little stunned. It's beautiful, she muttered as certain emotions flashed through her eyes. Meeting Hu Tian, Xiao Mei, you haven't seen anything like this? Yi Chun inquired curiously as he saw her gaze fixated on lush greenery and clouds. Hearing him, Li Mei came out of her thoughts and replied, the outside world is not beautiful like this. There's a lot of dust, and most of the forest is cut down to prevent fierce beasts from residing and preying on the humans. So it's rare to see mountains and forests like this, she replied as she rested her head on his chest. While watching the scenery with a little fear, Yi Chun smiled when he saw her like this. Don't worry, you won't fall, he assured, ruffling her hair while commanding the eagle to fly towards the sect. Hey, look, isn't that a white eagle? Yeah, it is, and it's heading towards the treasure pavilion. The disciple below pointed at the white eagle, which flew at low height. They were curious about who was on top of it, but no one was able to see anything from below. Nevertheless, it didn't stop them from following the eagle and heading towards the treasure pavilion. Swoosh! The eagle flapped its massive wings as it landed in front of an exquisite, 6-story tall, luxurious pavilion. This was the treasure pavilion, Yi Chen's destination. Xiao Mei, let's go, he said softly before jumping from the back of the eagle along with her. She was still in his arms, and only when she landed on the ground did she realize that she had been hugging him the whole journey. Oh, what did I do? She thought with embarrassment, her face flushing red as she tried to separate from him. However, Yi Chen held her firmly, so she wasn't able to escape, and could only look at him with a glare. Senior brother, let me go? Everyone is watching us, she said anxiously, feeling the gazes of male and female disciples, who watched their interaction, along with jealousy and hatred. But Yi Chen didn't care and smiled in response. Xiao Mei, you want me to let go because everyone is watching us? What if there is no one? Does that mean I can hold you like this as long as I want? He inquired with a smirk as he gazed into her beautiful, anxious eyes. This made Li Mei's face flush red like tomato, and her small heart started to race rapidly. Senior brother, don't say like that, she exclaimed with a nervous look as she tried to get away from him. However, it was useless because he was stronger than her. Ugh, why is it like this? We are both at the 4th stage of chi gathering, she thought with a complaint and continued to resist without answering him. It would be a lie to say that she didn't like the feeling of getting hugged by him. However, she was too embarrassed to admit this. Because of that, she could only resist. Yi Chen knew she was shy, so he didn't force her and released her from his arms. After this, he led her inside the treasure pavilion, while ignoring the gazes of jealous disciples. Arg, that devil's spawn. How could he have all good things? Damn it, I never hated any person in my life. He is the devil. Of course he is. Didn't you hear this guy took the quota of Mystic Pond from Hu Tian? Now left with no choice. Hu Tian had decided to compete with new disciples for the last quota. What? That's unfair. Hu Tian is at the 5th stage of chi gathering. Moreover, he already learned some martial arts. Humph. If you are dissatisfied, then get stronger and beat him. Also, let's hurry inside. I saw Hu Tian entering the treasure pavilion just a while ago. There might be a good show to watch, hee hee. Yeah, let's see Hu Tian beat out the shit of that devil. Let's go, we can't miss this. The male disciples whispered with jealousy and hatred before hurriedly heading inside the pavilion with excitement. The female disciples also followed the suit. However, their faces were laced with worry, and some even sped away to inform the elders. 50 low-grade spurt stones for this trashy old cauldron. Are you kidding me? Why don't you rob me directly? Hu Tian, which meant Lu Feng, shouted with dissatisfaction when he saw the attendant stating the price. However, he was just acting since He didn't want anyone to know that the cauldron was special and had a secret. Sir the Avio Elfire.net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. The female attendant didn't know this. Nevertheless, she remained calm and answered, "Young master, this cauldron was found inside an ancient ruin and is made from unknown metal. Although it can't handle too much refining, it is worth it because it has a rich herb presence, which will make refining easier for any beginner alchemist," she explained with a smile. Hearing her, Hu Tian displayed a difficult face, as if he was making a hard decision. "Okay, I will take it," he said after a moment. The female attendee immediately let out a smile and was just about to say something when a voice interrupted. "Wait, I want that cauldron," Yi Chun said as he walked towards them, with Li Mei following behind. Watching him, Hu Tian's eyes narrowed, and a frown appeared on his face. "What's this feeling? It's like he is not a human," he thought to himself before looking at him coldly. He wanted that cauldron, and there was no way he would give it away. "Pack the cauldron for me. I want to see how he will take something that is mine," he stated with a cold look. Hearing him, the female attendant was stunned. But before she could say something, Yi Chen took out a red token with the word Sect Elder engraved in it. "I suspect this cauldron is poisoned, so to avoid the death of fellow disciples, I will purchase it before destroying it. Also, this little dog is not as rich as me. Just throw him out of the pavilion and get me the cauldron," Yi Chen replied with a carefree look and a mocking smile. "It's my job to take care of trouble, not yours, Yi Chen. Don't overstep your bounds. Do you really think you can do anything you want with that stolen elder token? Just wait for elders to come and punish you," Hu Tian shouted angrily, accusing him falsely. He knew that the token in his hands was real and must have been given by Zhen Yunqi. However, it didn't matter since the elders didn't spread any news about him having the privileges of elders, which meant no one knew here what the truth was, even the low-level elders, which means they will come and arrest him. "Humph, playing with me. You are still a kid," Hu Tian snorted inwardly while looking at him with a cold look. Just now, he had deliberately raised his voice, so everyone heard it, even the disciples who were following with excitement and jealousy. What? He stole the sect elder's token. How audacious, he must be put to death. Yeah, where are the elders? Come and punish him. How dare he steal something like this? The male disciples didn't let go of the chance and started to shout. Watching this, Li Mei couldn't help but become angry and was just about to retort when Yi Chen patted her head, stopping her from saying anything. "Xiao Mei, don't bother with a group of dogs who had left their brains at home. Moreover, it's my job to take care of trouble, not yours," he said with a smile and turned towards Hu Tian. "Little dog, do you think that everyone is an idiot? If yes, then I won't mind summoning the Sect Master to clarify if I am an elder of the sect or not," he stated as he took out a purple token with the word Sect Master engraved on it. Watching this, everyone shouting froze, and Hu Tian's expression changed a little. This bastard must have a heaven-grade spiritual root. If not, he wouldn't be valued this highly. He cursed in his heart while wondering what to do, when suddenly a hearty laugh came from behind. "Haha, disciple Yi Chun, why summon Sect Master for a small matter? The old man Lan Jing is enough to handle such things," said an old man with a snow-white beard as he walked towards them hastily. Watching him, Hu Tian couldn't help but frown with displeasure. The elders of the sect were unhappy with Zhen Yunqi being the sect master. However, it didn't mean everyone was against her. Because of this, the sect elders were divided into two factions. One of them was neutral, not caring about any politics, while the other was an opposition faction, who wanted the sect master's seat for themselves. Lan Jing was from a neutral faction, so he shouldn't involve himself here even if the sect master was summoned. But now with him coming here and even calling Yi Chun, it was clear that he wanted to support him. Thinking of this, Hu Tian's expression became ugly. However, no one cared about him, and Lan Jing hurriedly apologized to Yi Chun. "Disciple Yi Chun, I am sorry for the late arrival. I was busy with my cultivation. Hence, it took some time for me to come here. This silly boy why cause trouble here? Moreover, when did you meet my granddaughter?" He thought in his heart with dissatisfaction. The reason he came here was because his granddaughter had threatened him to help Yi Chun. If not, she wouldn't talk to him or even cultivate. Lan Jing knew his granddaughter's personality very well and understood that she would do as she said. Hence, He had no choice but to come here to pacify the situation. Chen didn't know this. Nevertheless, he felt something was wrong, especially since he could see that Lan Jing was just smiling on his face. But his heart was filled with dissatisfaction. Is this old foggy plotting something? He thought to himself when Hu Tian spoke. Elder Lan Jing, this impudent disciple, claimed that a cauldron is poisoned, but he is clearly lying and wanted to snatch this cauldron from me, he said with an aggrieved look while not forgetting to raise his voice. This attracted the attention of everyone here, and they looked at Yi Chun with doubt and frown. However, no one dared to say anything, especially when they saw him tossing the purple token in the air with a carefree expression. Lan Jing's expression was also not calm when he saw him doing this. Why the Sect Master gave him such a token to play with? He cursed in his heart before speaking. Hu Tian, if the disciple Yi Chun said it is poisoned, then I must have made a mistake when inspecting the cauldron. However, don't worry, since I will give you a discount if you want to buy any other ones, he replied, clearly taking sides with Yi Chun. Hearing him, Hu Tian's expression became frosty. This insolent old man, he thought coldly in his heart, taking a deep breath to calm himself down. If Elder says it's poisonous, then I can only believe it. However, I don't want any other cauldrons. So I will take my leave here, he stated. And without waiting for the response, he walked out. Even though there were some secrets in the cauldron, it wasn't that great for him to reveal his ability and kill people over. Hence, he could only take his leave as it would save him from further humiliation. However, it didn't mean he would let them go. Yi Chun, you better prepare for your death in Mystic Pond. Also, you old man, just wait till I become strong, he muttered coldly in his heart and disappeared from the gazes of everyone. The male disciples were disappointed at this, while the female ones heaved a sigh of relief. Among them was a very beautiful female disciple, around 18 years old, looking at Yi Chun with a sweet gaze. She was none other than Lan Bing, who threatened her grandfather to act. Lan Ming, this little dog escaped very fast, Yi Chun remarked as he saw Hu Tian leaving in a hurry. He didn't bother to keep his voice down, so everyone heard him, and their mouths twitched a little, especially the male disciples and the old man, Lan Jing. Is this kid not afraid of death? Or does he really think that the Sect Master will protect him every time? Lan Jing thought with a frown. Just like Hu Tian, he also guessed that Yi Chun must have a heaven-grade spiritual root for Zhen Yunqi to go against the whole sect. However, such a thing was useless if he kept provoking people here and there. One day someone will kill him without even asking why. Thinking of this, he decided to make Lan Ming stay away from him. But before he could do this, Lan Ming came running here with a bright and excited look. Old man, your work is done here, so go back and cultivate, she stated with a slight glare before turning towards Yi Chun with a sweet look. Brother Chen, I am Lan Ming. And just so you know, this treasure pavilion is mine. If you need any items here, just say the word, and I'll give it to you for free, she declared as she grabbed his hand with twinkles in her eyes. I am holding handsome Brother Chen's hand. I can die without regrets now, she thought in her heart with a happy look. Watching her like this, Lan Jing's expression darkened. Xiaoming, what are you doing? He inquired with a stern look. However, Lan Ming didn't care and pouted in response. Old man, why are you still here? Go back now. If you don't, then I will complain to Grandma that you bullied me, she threatened with a deadly look, clearly being serious. This only made the old man's temper worse. And just as he was about to shout again, an old woman's voice rang out from the upper floor. Lan Jing, don't meddle in the affairs of young people. Xiaoming has grown up now, so let her do what she wants to, the voice stated with authority. Hearing this, the old man's expression wasn't that good, and when he looked at Lan Ming, who stuck her tongue out at him, his expression soured further. They go back, old man. Your work is done here, Lan Ming stated with a haughty tone as she knew the grandma was holding the fort at her back. After this, she didn't care about him and turned towards Yi Chun, who was watching their interaction with interest. While doing this, he also examined the beauty of the Lan Ming before him. She was beautiful, cute, and had a slim body. Her chest was a little smaller than Li Mei, but it wasn't a problem since it was still bountiful. Moreover, her cute twin tails, youthful area, big sparkling brown eyes, and sweet smile made her look more charming. Yi Chun couldn't help but give her the score of 10 out of 10, the same as Li Mei and Zhen Yunqi. There were many female disciples he had seen today, but none of them compared to these three he had met. Just as he was examining her, Li Mei also did the same, but with a sour feeling inside. Why is she holding my senior brother's hand? She thought with confusion and a hint of jealousy. She too was holding one of his hands, but it didn't make her feel good when she saw someone else doing this. Brother Chen, you like this cauldron, right? Let me tell you, this is an old antique and might not last even for a month if you refine pills with it. So how about I give you a new one? Don't worry, I won't charge you anything, Lan Ming suggested sweetly. However, Yi Chen shook his head at her. Lan Ming, I want to refine some pills in a hurry. So I would need a cauldron with richer presents, and this one is best for me. As for the new one, I was planning to buy 2 of them along with this. He explained with a clam look. The reason he wanted to buy the cauldron was not because he noticed some secret, but because of the rich herb presents. Even if it was not Hu Tian buying this, he would still snatch it because it was hard to find such a cauldron. Moreover, to make one with the rich herbs presents will take months of refining, and he didn't have time to wait for that long since he needed some pills before the opening of Mystic Pond. Lan Ming didn't know this. However, she didn't care and nodded in response. If Brother Chen wants it, then just take it. Everything here belongs to me, which means it also belongs to you. She replied with a sweet smile while staring at his handsome face. Brother Chen is too handsome, she muttered in her heart while squeezing his hand unintentionally. Watching her like this, Yi Chen felt a little amused. Don't tell me she really has fallen for my handsomeness? Isn't that too fickle then? He thought, shaking his head inwardly before speaking. Lan Ming, I don't mind taking things for free, but what about your grandpa? He would definitely mind this, right? He said as he glanced at the old man, whose eyes were shining with red gleam because of anger. Lan Ming also saw this. However, she didn't care. Brother Chen, why worry about the old man? He can't do anything. She replied with a carefree look and continued. Come, let me show you all the things here. I am sure you and Sister Li Mei would like it. Just say a word, and I will give it to you, she said before dragging them towards the upper floor while asking Yi Chen all kinds of questions. They were all related to him, like what kind of food he liked and how he liked it. Li Mei, although sour inside, listened to this conversation carefully as she felt this was very important. Just like this, they arrived on the 2nd floor, where Lan Ming pointed at the ice blue sword. Brother Chen, this is an Arctic sword made from special metal, and its grade is tire, too. Although the grade is not high, it's best for you to use it with your current cultivation. Moreover, you can also gift it to Sister Li Mei and steal her fragile heart, she suggested with a wink while hugging his arm without consent. Brother Chen, I love you. Sure, I won't mind gifting this to Li Mei. So give me this Arctic sword. Yi Chen agreed without any hesitation, while enjoying the softness he felt through his arm. However, he maintained a calm look. Watching him like this, Lan Ming was a little upset. However, she perked up and started to explain all kinds of items here. Of course, she made sure to keep his left hand pressed between her soft mountains, which made Li Mei feel sour. Humph, I can also do this. Li Mei thought sulkily before hugging Yi Chen's right arm with flushed expression. Feeling the softness coming from both sides, Yi Chen was pleased even more. However, this wasn't the case for the male and female disciple who were watching him. How could he be so lucky, damn it? Why wasn't I there? I should have gone and introduced every item if I knew I could do this. The male and female disciples whispered with anger and regret. Fortunately, the old man wasn't here. If not, he might spit out blood after seeing his lovely granddaughter like this. Just as the disciples were busy whispering, Yi Chen calmly faced the softness and kept looking through the different items. It would have been better if I had some kind of inheritance or memory that explained these things, he thought to himself while asking Lan Ming to get the things he needed. What he wanted were only some low-grade herbs, seeds, and some miscellaneous items, which totaled about 100 low-grade spirit stones. It was expensive. However, for the treasure pavilion, it was nothing. Because of this, he didn't shy away from taking things for free. After this, he continued to look around more and got a few extra items that he liked. Lan Ming, thanks for your help. You saved me a lot of time by explaining everything. Yi Chen thanked her with a serious look. Hearing this, Lan Ming knew it was time for him to leave, and she couldn't help but become upset. Brother Chen, are you going back now? Can't you stay here for more time? She inquired with an unwilling expression as she tightened the grip on his hand. From when she was a kid, She had always dreamed of a handsome, charming brother whom she could marry and have kids with. However, reality struck hard as she grew up and found out ugly male disciples everywhere. Some of them were good-looking, but in her eyes, they were still ugly whenever she recalled her handsome brother from a dream. Although she wasn't able to see the face of her mighty brother, she knew he was handsome beyond heaven. But everything was useless since it was only a blurry dream, and her friends started to make fun of her that no one like that existed. Nevertheless, she remained confident that there was a mighty brother beyond heavens waiting for her. It was when she saw Chen descending from heavens. Suddenly, the blurry dream from years ago became clear, and the figure of Chen talking to her softly appeared in her mind. It was at that moment she knew he was her mighty brother from dreams she wanted to marry. And just like some love-struck fool, she lost her reasonings before waiting for his arrival. The time passed day by day, making her heart burst into anxiousness, until she suddenly received the news of his arrival today and came here running. She had waited for this day for more than a week, and now seeing him leave again, she was unwilling. At least take me with you, Brother Chen. I want to live with you. She said it in her heart as she looked at him with hope. Chen didn't know her thoughts, so he became a little stunned at her sudden hopeful gaze. Am I that handsome? He muttered in his heart, wondering if the beauties would start killing each other just to get close to him. However, he didn't ponder over too much and looked at the love-struck girl with a smile. Li Mei, it's time for us to leave, so I can't stay here. But you should know where I live, right? Then just drop by whenever you want to. I promise you will be able to come and go freely there, he replied with a soft tone. There was no reason for him to reject her affection. Moreover, Li Mei was the little boss of this treasure pavilion and could help him get some items that Zhen Yunqi couldn't with her status. Not to mention, he could also sell items with her help. Because of this, he planned to work with her, and if she could directly come to his courtyard, it would be good as there wouldn't be any prying eyes. Li Mei didn't know about his thoughts, so she became stunned when he said she could go and find him whenever he wanted. Does Brother Chen want to do that? She thought with a blush and forgot to react. Meanwhile, Li Mei hugged Chen's arm tightly, wondering why he was asking someone else to come to their courtyard. Senior brother, that's our courtyard. You should at least ask me if I am okay with it or not, she thought with a sulky look. When suddenly Li Mei snapped out of her thoughts and looked at Chen with a flushed face. Brother Chen, I love you, she whispered before she threw herself in his arms and snuggled in his chest without any warning. Ah, this is my handsome, mighty brother. I can't control myself anymore. I want more cuddles. I want more, she thought in her heart, while rubbing her face in his chest like some cat. What are you doing? Li Mei couldn't help but exclaim with wide eyes when she saw this. Sister Li Mei, don't worry. I am not after Brother Chen's heart, but his body, Li Mei replied with a serious look, trying to make her worries go away. However, this didn't make Li Mei feel good, and she only became anxious. But before she could say something, Chen intervened. Li Mei, when you have time, come to my courtyard. I will give you something good, he said as he patted her head. Hearing him, Li Mei didn't hesitate and nodded. I will, Brother Chen, she replied with an obedient look. After this, Chen exchanged a few more words and left with all the things he wanted. Watching his fading back, Li Mei couldn't help but feel sad. However, after remembering that she could go and see him soon, she perked up. Taking responsibility, swoosh. The white eagle soared in the sky, attracting gazes of regret and anger from the disciples below. However, Chen didn't care about any of them and looked at the sulky beauty in his arms. Xiaomei, why are you upset? Did something happen? He inquired with a puzzled look, pretending that he didn't know the reason behind this. Watching him like this, Li Mei couldn't help but pout. However, she didn't say anything and just leaned on his chest in silence. Why do I feel so upset? I am just his junior sister, she muttered in her heart while subconsciously tightening her arms around him. Feeling this, Chen couldn't help but pinch her pouty cheeks. She is too cute when she is angry, he mused with a faint smile and spoke. Xiaomei, as a senior brother, it's my responsibility to take care of adorable junior sister. And since you are feeling down, I will take upon the responsibility to cheer you up and make sure you are extremely happy, he stated with a serious look, but the sly smile in his eyes said otherwise. Li Mei couldn't help but feel uneasy at this, but before she could think, he grabbed her anxious face and closed on her with a mischievous smile. After this, he didn't give her time to react and directly planted a soft kiss on her forehead. Li Mei was dumbfounded by his actions, and her eyes widened with shock. Soon her cheeks flushed red, and a sense of weakness coursed through her body. However, Chen paid no heed to this and once again kissed her. But this time it was on her small, delicate nose. Feeling the familiar warmth and soft kiss, Li Mei finally snapped out of his dumbfounded look and exclaimed with an embarrassed face, Senior brother, what are you doing?" She asked with glare and a flushed expression. Kissing on her head was something she could accept, but kissing on her nose was a little different, as she found it extremely embarrassing. However, Chen didn't care about this and hugged her tightly. "Xiaomei, are you still upset? If yes, then say no more. Your senior brother will help you with this as much as you want," he stated with a soft tone while gazing deeply into her eyes. Watching him like this, Li Mei's heart skipped a few beats, and she forgot to react. Chen didn't let go of this opportunity, and without hesitation he kissed her again. But this time it was on her soft and flushed cheeks. "He kissed me again," Li Mei thought with a reddened expression, while feeling a strange sense of happiness and satisfaction inside her heart. The sensation of him kissing her kept replaying in her mind, as she hoped he would do it again. However, she instantly discarded such thoughts. "I should be angry with senior brother, not happy," she corrected herself as she looked at him with a glare. Watching her like this, Chen smiled and ruffled her hair. "Xiaomei, are you feeling good or do you need more kisses?" he inquired with a serious look. Hearing this, Li Mei's heart tightened, and she almost wanted to say yes. However, she once again abandoned such thoughts and shot a cold glance at him. "No, I am feeling good," she replied with a pout and turned her head sideways before leaning on his chest. Although she was angry at him, she didn't forget the fear of falling. Moreover, she was feeling good and happy inside. It's just that she was too embarrassed and shy to admit this. She ran away fast. Chen shook his head as he saw Li Mei running off instantly as she landed. However, he didn't follow her since he needed to plant the seeds he bought. So, he didn't waste his time and made his way towards the field. There was nothing new here except a beautiful figure watching the growth of herbs and the beautiful galaxy around them. "You came back so soon?" Yunqi inquired with a surprised look. She had thought he would take Li Mei shopping and spend the time here and there like young couples. However, it hasn't been even half a day, and he came back. "I just wanted to buy some seeds and a cauldron, so why would I waste my time?" Chen replied with a shrug. It's not like he hadn't thought of taking Li Mei on a date. It's just this was the world where strong eats weak, and he can't waste his time, especially now when he was weak. Yunqi guessed what he was thinking, so she didn't inquire further and glanced at the seeds he took out from the spatial ring. They are all Tier 1 and Tier 2 herbs that have a growth span from 1 month to 5 years. However, with your divine power, the growth rate will be only a few days to 3 weeks, she remarked. Hearing her, Chen nodded. "Yes, it would be only a few weeks at most, and that's when I need them," he replied as he used the formations to plant the seeds. These herbs were something he needed after he broke through the Qi refining realm. Although it was too early, he still felt it was better to prepare since getting stronger was his top priority. Just as he was done with planting the seeds, Yunqi took out a spatial ring. "I have gathered some beast cores and metals. This will help you strengthen the mountain and expand the range of your divine power," she said, handing him the ring. Hearing her, Chen was surprised because he thought it would take her some time to gather these things, especially with her identity, which can attract the eyes of many. Nevertheless, he didn't care too much and took the ring from her. "Yunqi, do you need anything from me?" he asked as he saw her hesitating to speak.